Republica Moldova se pregătește pentru reconstrucția Ucrainei. Pentru că reconstrucția Ucrainei este și reconstrucția întregii regiuni, este și reconstrucția Republicii Moldova. Pentru că reconstrucția Ucrainei înseamnă să construim o regiune prosperă, stabilă și cu o siguranță, cu o securitate puternică, care să descurajeze un nou război al Rusiei împotriva Ucrainei și împotriva Republicii Moldova și împotriva Europei. Reconstrucția înseamnă să conectăm din toate punctele de vedere Ucraina și Republica Moldova cu lumea vestică, cu Uniunea Europeană. Să construim interconexiuni de drumuri, interconexiuni energetice, să ne legăm din punct de vedere comercial tot mai puternic, să încurajăm sinergii ale sectoarelor noastre industriale, să consolidăm apărarea, industria noastră de apărare comună. Aceasta înseamnă reconstrucția. Așa vedem noi în Republica Moldova reconstrucția. Și noi ne pregătim pentru acest efort. Pentru a contribui la acest efort. Noi construim poduri moderne cu România. Noi modernizăm căile noastre ferate, care să lege Ucraina, Republica Moldova de România și de Uniunea Europeană. Noi construim linii electrice de înaltă tensiune cu România. Noi construim 3 centre logistice multimodulare care să contribuie la acest efort, la Chișinău, lângă Ungheni și la Giurgiulești. Noi modernizăm căile ferate care să ajute, să contribuie în continuare la susținerea Ucrainei în efortul său economic de a rezista Rusiei. Noi asigurăm securitatea coridoarelor de transport, așa numitele Solidarity Lanes, care trec inclusiv prin Republica Moldova și care aprovizionează Ucraina cu toate produsele necesare, materia necesară pentru a rezista. Și de asemenea oferă Ucrainei coridoare sigure pentru exportul produselor sale, necesare de asemenea pentru a rezista în acest război. Deci nu privim nepăsător. Noi ne angajăm activ în susținerea Ucrainei. Și de asemenea să nu uităm că în continuare pe teritoriul Republicii Moldova avem peste 100.000 de cetățeni ucraineni care au fugit de război, care au căutat, în special, majoritatea lor sunt femei și copii. Peste 80% din ucrainenii care au fugit de la Odessa, Nikolaev, Harkov și se află pe teritoriul Republicii Moldova sunt femei și copii. Și le asigurăm securitatea. Le-am deschis accesul la toate serviciile sociale și la toate serviciile medicale de care beneficiază inclusiv cetățenii Republicii Moldova. Nici o discriminare. Și vom continua să oferim acest suport. De asemenea, aeroportul de la Chișinău este o cale sigură de 50 de state ale lumii pentru cetățenii ucraineni. Și datorită cetățenilor ucraineni care au ales această cale, acest hub aeroportuar a devenit unul dintre cele mai importante din regiunea noastră. Nivelul de creștere, rata de creștere a pasagerilor a crescut enorm. Pentru că majoritatea lor, o bună parte din ei, eu cred că jumătate din cei care călătoresc în aeroportul de la Chișinău sunt cetățeni ucraineni. Și ei aleg această cale pentru că este o cale sigură de a călători. De a călători nu doar spre vest, dar de a călători dinspre vest, de asemenea spre Ucraina. De asemenea, companii aeronautice ucrainene au un avantaj din prezența lor în Republica Moldova. Și ultimul meu mesaj către companiile din companiile din Ucraina este să vină să investească în Republica Moldova. Pentru că suntem la întretăierea căilor comerciale între est și vest, nord și sud, și avem o infrastructură de transport tot mai bună, avem programe de susținere guvernamentale, de asemenea susținute de Uniunea Europeană, de a încuraja investiții majore în Republica Moldova. De exemplu, una din schemele de susținere lansată anul acesta de către Guvernul Republicii Moldova oferă 75% de granturi din investiția pe care o presupune respectiva companie în Republica Moldova. 75% pot fi acoperite din granturile pe care le oferă Republica Moldova, iar acest fond se ridică la 100 de milioane de euro. De asemenea, recent, Uniunea Europeană a lansat un apel de exprimare a interesului pentru a investi în Republica Moldova. Și cei investitorii care vin cu un pachet, cu o investiție majoră de 10 milioane de euro, pot beneficia de granturi sau de credite avantajoase în proporție de 75%. Și acest call este deschis. Acest call va fi închis abia în iunie 2026. Și noi vă invităm, și sper că se mai regăsesc aici reprezentanții presei din România. Era Antena 3, dar a plecat. Oricum, sper foarte mult că mesajele mele vor ajunge către românii noștri și să înțeleagă că cei care spun nu asistenței pentru România, de fapt încurajează războiul, de fapt încurajează agresiunea, de fapt încurajează Rusia să continue pe această cale. Vă mulțumesc foarte mult. Dar nu înainte de a mulțumi încă o dată Ucrainei pentru sacrificiul său, pentru poporul ucrainean, pentru sacrificiul său. Pentru că fără sacrificiul său, nici eu astăzi nu aș fi putut vorbi în fața dumneavoastră în calitate de ambasador al Republicii Moldova. Mulțumesc foarte mult pentru răbdarea dumneavoastră și încă o dată slavă Ucrainei!
Am onoarea de a-l invita pe excelența sa, domnul Uffe Balslev, ambasador al Danemarcei în România.
State secretaries, members of parliament, heads of regional military administrations, excellencies, dear friends and colleagues. This forum for building a platform for rebuilding Ukraine could not have come at a more pertinent moment. A time where Putin's Russia has set up in gear its brutal, criminal and totally unjustifiable aggression war against sovereign Ukraine by pounding even more intensively vital civilian infrastructure and residential areas. The immense suffering this brings to the Ukrainian people is a blatant violation of international and humanitarian law, and Putin and his regime should be made to pay for it. My main point here today is that we must not fall into the trap of thinking of rebuilding Ukraine as something into the future, once a ceasefire or peace agreement have entered into force. No, rebuilding Ukraine and our massive support for it have already started now, or rather yesteryear. It is even more important now while the war is raging than at a later stage. Indeed, it is decisive for what that later stage may come to look like. As the brave and resilient Ukrainians heroically fight the war at an horrendous cost of property and lives, they actually also continue with their normal industrious lives in business and public service quite successfully. We heard that today. Keeping this up is just as important for the war effort as for safeguarding the Ukraine that will come out of the war. We must support them in this as much as we can. There might be a few reconstruction efforts that we would leave to after the weapons have turned silent. Indeed, right now, much effort must be put into reconstructing Ukrainian power and heating infrastructure that Russia maliciously targets at a time when the freezing winter is approaching. But in general, there is not much difference between now and then. The rebuilding of residential areas, utilities, production facilities, and agriculture must take place now, similar to what we should do after the war, and with a similar view to green transition, creating jobs, and preparing Ukraine's accession to the European Union. That is why Denmark has made civilian reconstruction and private sector support a substantial part of the technical and financial support that we give to Ukraine now, and why we, from an early stage, have adopted the heroic city of Mykolaiv, close to the front line in southern Ukraine, as the main recipient and multifaceted and long-term assistant for reconstruction and business development. Romania lies geographically and industrially as a natural logistics hub and supplier for such assistance. Since the outbreak of the war, Denmark's military support to Ukraine amounts to 9.4 billion euros, while the civilian support on top of this has been about a tenth of that, just short of 1 billion euros. Of this, 380 million euros have gone to civilian reconstruction and 370 million to financial and private sector support. That makes us one of the highest contributors per capita, per GDP, and unfortunately also even in absolute terms. A title we happily would relinquish if our closest and bigger, and in some cases even richer partners and allies would beef off their support as well. We and the Ukrainians obviously prefer that most assistance is delivered in close concert between our partners and allies. The European Union ought to be the main player and coordinator, apart from, of course, the Ukrainians themselves. If some of our partners and allies continue to procrastinate, it will not stop this massive and necessary effort, but only detract from the means available for our joint efforts in the European Union. I hope and I'm sure that this forum will contribute to deeper reflection on the size and efficiency of our military and civilian support for Ukraine, and thus to an even greater effort. Because not only is Ukrainian security also our European security in military terms, but the survival and reconstruction of a productive, strong, green, and civil Ukraine based on democratic values, respect for human lives, and with a modern social fabric are also contributing to upholding our European basic values, prosperity, and society as we know and want them. Thank you very much.
Am onoarea de a o invita în scenă pe excelența sa, doamna Anna Hellerman, ambasador al Suediei în România.
Bună ziua, mulțumesc pentru invitație. Distinguished participants, dear Ukrainian and Romanian friends and colleagues, dear hosts, although it's a long morning session, I think we should all be grateful that we are so many here to express our support to Ukraine. Support to Ukraine is the #1 foreign policy priority for my country, Sweden. We cannot allow might to equal right. The outcome of the Russian aggression will determine the security of Europe and beyond for generations ahead. Support from Sweden, EU, and other like-minded countries here today is long-term and unwavering. And like others here, we have, are, and will continue to contribute in an unprecedented way, economically, politically, militarily, including air defense. We have done things we thought was impossible and faster than imagined. And yet we need to do more, be even more innovative, fast and ambitious, and further increase our coordination, predictability and long-term approach. We also need to keep our citizens aboard. We need to reiterate that Ukraine is defending also our security and independence, as so many have said here before. And say that yes, it is and will be costly, but the alternative even more so. We need to show Russia that they are wrong to believe that time is on their side, and we also need to increase our pressure on them. Like others, I want to thank Romania, so close to the war, for its strong and multidimensional support, and for handling challenges between neighbors bilaterally. So one of my messages is that we need more public funding. We need more countries to contribute, and we who already support to do more for reconstruction, infrastructure and energy to get by the winter, which is so important for the immediate resilience. But we also, as many have also mentioned, need to mobilize private capital. And we, as government representative, can facilitate this by de-risking, by providing guarantees and loans. We have several bilateral Swedish, I will just mention very briefly. We have a one-stop shop in Kiev for Swedish businesses who majority have stayed. We have export credit guarantees. We have an envoy and reform support with this mandate and goal to work on the reconstruction. And a more recent one is to make sure that we facilitate for Ukraine products and services to our market. And this is actually visible in supermarkets, etc. European instruments have already been mentioned, and they are, of course, key. We have the investment framework, EBRD, EIB, in addition to the international organizations. And this also brings us, of course, to the EU integration, to single market, value chain, standard practices. So, to sum up, we are convinced that synergies between public funds and private investments will multiply the impact for Ukraine, but also generate business for Swedish companies or European companies. And to keep these two visions at the same time, that Ukraine is a country at war, and it's a key priority for us to support Ukraine. And at the same time, it's a functioning market with a future in the EU, with innovative companies, not least in security, energy, digital solutions, that we can all learn from. Ukraine, just like the Republic of Moldova, are making impressive progress to join the EU under very difficult circumstances. And we are convinced that this will make the entire EU, and in particular its closest neighborhood, including Romania, stronger, safer, and more competitive. And also, I am convinced that the Romanian support will then also turn into an advantage. So let me thank Romania again for your firm support, and Ukraine for defending us all. And we will stand by you for as long as it takes. Thank you. Mulțumesc.
Am onoarea de a o invita pe excelența sa, doamna Evanghelia Gramatica, ambasador al Greciei în România.
Excellencies, esteemed representatives of the Ukrainian regions here, distinguished guests, I'm very pleased to have once again the opportunity to be participating in an event here in Romania dedicated to the reconstruction of Ukraine. And it is of note that in the less than 2 years I am posted here, this is the third such event. Therefore, I express my appreciation and congratulate the Romanian-Ukrainian Chamber of Commerce and its president, Professor Vladoiu, as well as the ambassador of Ukraine here, dear friend Ihor Prokopchuk, for your tireless efforts in this respect. Now, my presence here is in a very opportune timing since yesterday President Zelensky visited Athens and had a series of meetings with the Greek leadership and including, of course, Prime Minister Mitsotakis. And in this framework, they reflected on the ongoing and reiterated the ongoing and steadfast support of Greece to Ukraine in the face of the Russian aggression, signaling also a new impetus for bilateral and regional cooperation in this respect. And the dire energy situation of Ukraine due to the continuing Russian attacks was put to the forefront. So in this respect, it is important to highlight that the new letter of intent was signed between Naftogaz and the Greek corresponding company for procuring LNG gas through the vertical corridor from Greece to Ukraine for December until March next year. And this, of course, is also in line with the very significant results of the recent Transatlantic Partnership Energy Cooperation meeting, PTEC, that was held in Athens 10 days ago, on the 6th and the 7th, with the participation of US, of course, two secretaries of Energy and Interior, as well as ministers from all our countries of the region, Bulgaria, Romania, the Republic of Moldova, the Ukrainian minister as well, and they agreed to have LNG deliveries from the US through the vertical corridor to the Republic of Moldova as well, and Ukraine. And this is a demonstration and signals a long-term US engagement to the region, its energy security, and its stability. Now, turning back to yesterday's visit in Athens by President Zelensky, it also provided the opportunity for Prime Minister Mitsotakis to reiterate Greece's support to Ukraine for its European integration process, and as well of the need, of course, for a durable and just peace with Ukraine at the negotiations table. Greece is a committed, principled, and dependable partner. Moreover, the two leaders discussed new prospects for defense cooperation between Greece and Ukraine, as well as the engagement of Greece and Greek companies to the reconstruction of Ukraine. A few days ago, there was in Warsaw on the 13th and 14th of November, end of last week, the latest Rebuild Ukraine International Exhibition and Conference, where Greece participated at ministerial level, but also with a large number of companies whose executives were also their major construction and energy companies. Now, Greece also supports Ukraine's current efforts to restore its damaged energy infrastructure, and yesterday in Athens, were discussed specific practical steps in this respect. Overall, the long-standing ties between Greece and Ukraine, including the Greek communities established for centuries throughout southern Ukraine, from Mariupol to Odessa, they serve as an excellent basis for our cooperation. And of course, in Odessa, we never closed our general consulate. It is still there, and our embassy in Kiev also is running and having serving as a hub for businessmen as well to participate in the reconstruction of Ukraine. Last but not least, we have a dynamic Greek business community in Romania, which can also serve as a springboard for enhancing the effectiveness of the efforts to the benefit of all our people. So thank you very much. Mulțumesc mult and slava Ucraina.
Am onoarea de a-l invita în scenă pe excelența sa, domnul ambasador Rim Kapso, ambasador al Republicii Coreea în România.
Yes, bună ziua. Excellencies, friends and colleagues. It's my great honor to join you once again at this forum following my participation in last April. At the outset, let me to reaffirm the Republic of Korea's unwavering commitment to the Ukraine Peace and Solidarity Initiative announced in July 2023. The Korean government remains steadfast in its full support for Ukraine's national security, its humanitarian needs, and the long-term reconstruction. In September, Korea's Foreign Minister, Jo Hyun, presided over the UN Security Council high-level meeting on the maintenance of peace and security of Ukraine in New York, in his capacity as President of the UN Security Council. Foreign Minister Jo reiterated Korea's firm support for the sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of Ukraine. He emphasized that Korea has consistently assisted Ukraine in alleviating civilian suffering and will consider further measures. He reaffirmed his commitment during his meeting with the Ukrainian foreign minister at the G7 foreign minister meeting last week as well. In this context, I would like to focus on how Korea, through its strategic partnership with Romania, can contribute to Ukraine's economic reconstruction and the long-term growth. First, on national security. As Foreign Minister Jo stressed in September, the recent drone incursions into the airspace of Romania and Poland remind us that the battlefield is no longer confined to Ukraine only. The ongoing illegal military cooperation between North Korea and Russia, violating the multiple UN Security Council resolutions and international law, further demonstrates that the security of Europe and Asia is very deeply interconnected. As Korea strengthens its security cooperation with the European Union and the NATO, including through the Korea-EU Security and Defense Partnership, our dynamic defense partnership with Romania will continue to enhance not only Romania's defense capabilities, but the security of the wider region. Second, on infrastructure and reconstruction. Korea understands the meaning of rebuilding better than the most. In just 7 decades, we rose from the devastation of the war to become a thriving democracy and a leading global economy. With our own experience, Korea is uniquely positioned to contribute to Ukraine's recovery, offering both technical expertise and a proven model of sustainable development as well. This recognition has been echoed by Ukraine's Deputy Prime Minister, Oleksiy Kubela, who expressed very strong hope that Ukraine might emulate the Korea's miracle on the Han River to create its own miracle on the Dnipro. President Zelensky has also noted that Korea's economic transformation could serve as a meaningful example for his own country, Ukraine. Romania's strategic geopolitical position, linking Europe and Asia through the Black Sea and the Danube River, puts it at the very heart of transport and logistics routes essential for Ukraine's reconstruction. Now a member of the full Schengen area, Romania is even better placed to serve as the major gateway into and out of Europe. The port of Constanța, one of Europe's largest, will play a pivotal role with its capacity to accommodate large vessels, manage high cargo volumes, and connect it both maritime and riverine transport systems. As emphasized by the Speaker of the Korean National Assembly and the Presidential Special Envoy during their recent visit to Bucharest in July and October, Korea and Romania will continue to strengthen cooperation in road, railway, and port infrastructure. This partnership can be expanded to enhance connectivity with Ukraine and reinforce the broader Europe-Asia logistics corridor. During my recent visit to Bukovina-Eris-Cheaba region, situated near the Ukrainian border, I saw firsthand the region's potential to become a key hub for Ukraine's post-war recovery. A new highway linking Cheaba to the Ukrainian border will further integrate Ukraine into Romania and the EU transport networks. Many Korean engineering and construction firms are already active here in Romania, and as Ukraine's reconstruction advances and materialized, even more Korean companies stand ready to contribute with the cutting-edge technologies and deep experiences. Third, on energy sector. The vertical gas corridor initiative linking Greece, Bulgaria, Romania, Moldova, and Ukraine demonstrates Romania's growing importance in ensuring energy security and diversification in the region. Korea is contributing meaningfully to these efforts through major nuclear energy projects. For example, Korea hydro and nuclear power is actively involved in the refurbishment of the Unit 1 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant and the construction of tritium removal facility. In September, I attended myself the groundbreaking ceremony for the Unit 1 refurbishment undertaken in partnership with our Romanian and our Canadian and Italian counterparts. Building on this success of these projects, Korea is prepared to very actively participate in the Doichesti SMR project and the construction of Chernobyl Units 3 and 4, strengthening Romania's energy capabilities through this cooperation will not only support Romania's development, but also contribute to Ukraine's long-term energy security. In closing, our joint efforts are essential to building a better future for our generations to come. Earlier this month, the Korean government successfully hosted the 2025 APEC summit, adopting key outcome documents on digital and AI transformation and on demographic challenges. These demonstrate Korea's readiness to assume a leading role in addressing global issues and shaping a more secure and prosperous world. The Republic of Korea stands ready to work very closely with Romania and to contribute substantially to Ukraine's reconstruction, ensuring a resilient, secure, and peaceful future for the whole region. Thank you so much.
Am plăcerea de a-l invita pe excelența sa domnul Radko Vlaikov, ambasador al Bulgariei în România.
Dear Minister, dear State Secretaries, dear President of Bilateral Chamber of Commerce, Romania, Ukraine, Your Excellency Ambassador Prokopchuk, dear Richer, Your Excellencies, distinguished governors of the regions of Odessa, Chernivtsi, Zaporozhye, Zakarpatye, sorry. I thought all the time to be precise, but anyway, I'm very happy to have you, and especially in the end, I want to mention something. First of all, I'll start like my Greek colleague that I'm for the third time on this conference, and I'm very satisfied with this. Congratulations for organizing. And what's for me is very important, and on every of these conferences, we are speaking not just about the preparation of the reconstruction of Ukraine, but it's very important to remember why we are in this situation and to organize parallel the protection of Ukraine, the continuing war of Russians against Ukraine, with the ideas how to recover Ukraine. And I think that, and I'll repeat once again for 10 seconds, that from 2014, we, the countries from B9, that are the three Baltic countries, the Visegrad Group, Romania and Bulgaria, we are warning, and we warned in 2014 that Russia will stop not just with Crimea, because we had bad experience with Soviet Empire, and we knew that the aggression will not stop with Crimea in this period. That's why all the sanctions we are taking after 24th of February 22, they had to be taken in 2014 and 14, and we will not come to the current situation. That's why it's very important to have these our lessons and to be prepared that Russia will not finish the war so easy. And they'll fight to the end. But we, in first place, Ukraine, and we, the international community, the democratic countries from EU and NATO, will also not stop. Because we understand, and I fully agree, your intervention, dear Victor, the ambassador of Moldova, was excellent. I fully agree with this, that Ukraine, they're fighting, they lose their lives for us, for other countries to be protected from the Russian Empire. That's why for us it's very important to continue to the end, to have all measures to protect and to assist Ukraine in this war. I'm very proud that Bulgaria from the very beginning has very consequent position, and Bulgaria is one of the countries which is giving a lot of material assistance to Ukraine, having in mind our population. Bulgaria is on around 5 countries in the world, having in mind the relation to GDP per capita, to the assistance we are giving to Ukraine. For us, of course, it's very natural, all the countries we are together with Ukraine to be prepared and to have this preparation, how we'll work for recovery of Ukraine. And for me it's very important that Bulgaria's participation at the Ukrainian Recovery Conference in Rome was at the highest political level, and it served as testament to our sustained unfaltering commitment to the process of post-war recovery, reconstruction and reform of Ukraine. I'll say that for us it's very important to continue parallel with both processes, the war, the continuing war, and the preparation for recovery. From our point of view, this is very important. That's why I'll mention very briefly that the Bulgarian government is actively engaged in securing both submarine and terrestrial infrastructure related to the electricity, gas, and data transmission across the Black Sea, thereby ensuring the resilience of critical regional systems. And here what is from our point of view important, as a Black Sea country, Bulgaria could contribute to the maritime domain on the basis of the existing and already operating jointly with Romania and Turkey, mine countermeasures naval group in the Black Sea, MCM Black. The enhancement of the roles and functions of the MCM Black Sea could contribute to the freedom of navigation and the overall security of the Black Sea region. The group is open to participation from the non-Black Sea alliance with relevant capabilities and assets, and we welcome any proposals for contribution. What is for us very important also, and it was mentioned many times about the energy, on regional energy security, Bulgaria is spearheading the development of the vertical gas corridor as integrated north-south pipeline system connecting Greece, Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, the Slovak Republic, the Republic of Moldova, and the Ukraine. The launch of the construction has been officially started in May 2025, and this corridor will transport LNG sources from the United States, Azerbaijan, Egypt. I fully support what my Greek colleague said about the importance of this vertical corridor, and something more. I can tell you that the day before yesterday, our Prime Minister made an inspection on the vertical corridor here in north, near Varna, and it was officially said that all this construction of the transit corridor on Bulgarian territory is going excellent, and it will be in the terms that it was planned. Contracts have finalized for key segments, including the Kulata-Kresna and Trubcha-Vetri roads, with overall projects completion project for late 2025 or early 26. Once operational, the corridor will reduce dependence on Russian gas for Eastern Europe, countries from Eastern Europe. So, in addition, Bulgaria is leading efforts to establish the Alexandroupolis-Odessa railway corridor in collaboration with Greece, Romania, and Ukraine. This new transport link aims to streamline trade and reduce freight transit times between the Black Sea and Aegean regions. We appreciate very high the results of the visit of President Zelensky and the readiness of Greece to work on this. Here probably one point, it was said by representatives of Romanian government, and we fully support the readiness of Romania to be hub in the future process of recovery of Ukraine. That's why from our point, and I think we have here the full support of our Greek friends, is very important now to organize the infrastructure for this future logistic. This infrastructure, by the way, is also very important in the first line of efforts, the continuing war. From both point of views, it's very important to have this connectivity with highway, railway, digital, pipeline from Greece through Bulgaria, Romania, further to Moldova and Ukraine. And I'm sure that the readiness of Romania to be hub here is very important, and could be, their contribute could be in participation of the organizing in such infrastructure as part of future logistic. By the way, the Black Sea Highway is a key land transport corridor designed to connect also Turkey and Ukraine via Bulgaria and Romania. And there are such also projects from Turkey speaking about different highways and corridors, all they have W's, which is very important, and this is the need to speed up somehow the process for their construction. Bulgarian business have significant potential to contribute to the post-war recovery of Ukraine, enhancing the visibility of investment opportunities in Ukraine for all stakeholders by offering guarantees that that mitigate risks for international investors is the key issue that we need to address with our greater focus. I want probably to conclude with the presence of here of the three governors of Odessa, Chernivtsi, and Zakarpattia. Congratulations for your presentations. They were very, very interesting and very useful. We had excellent picture what is the real now situation and what is needed. And we'll continue with this. I want also, like my Greek colleague, personally to say to the Odessa governor that we are very interested and we are very thankful for all what you are doing for the Bulgarians in Odessa region, not just in the city, but in the region. As I know, more than 50,000 Bulgarians are living in the city of Odessa and more than 250,000 in the region of Odessa. For us, this is very important. And believe us, we are Bulgarians, Bulgaria state, we are supporting Ukraine, not just because of Bulgarian population. We are supporting Ukraine because Ukraine is on the right way, and Ukraine is fighting for all of us stopping the Russian aggression. We'll continue with this support, and I'm sorry to repeat this, but we have to work parallel for recovering of Ukraine and for the end of the war, such end of the war in which the territorial integrity of Ukraine will be protected. Thank you. Slava Ukraini.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. It was a great opportunity having you here today. Please allow me to pass directly to the session 2, but only with one speaker, and after that we will invite you for the lunch. That means Mr. Părcălăbescu Răzvan is the chief of Romarm. Răzvan, please be so kind to open the session, and after that to let us to share some goods from abroad. Thank you very much for the effort to be here, and please open the session for this is your session, Defense Industry.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. President, Nasti, my dear friends, Your Excellency. We declare open this second session, and in our ideology, because in the second panel it's for the business environment, we have one word: time is money. And I like to say something to all the Ukraine delegation. Romarm is here to support all the Ukrainian company, and we want to rebuild Ukraine, but in Romania. We want to move the defense industry here with the technology and the know-how from the front direct here in Romania, and let's make it fastly, because we didn't have time. We are helping a lot Ukraine with all of our companies. Romarm have 15 subsidiaries, and we are ready to work with you. Let's go to eat something. Thank you very much.